much for watching. This is DecideX. It's always on Sunday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. It's an entrepreneurship exclusive show where we invite the experts and the seniors, and then we discuss on various controversial entrepreneurship topics, trending and all that. Today, it's an amazing Sunday. Let me hope those whom it may concern went to church. And it's my pleasure, as always. Frank is your host, and we have amazing guests. We have Mr. Frank. He does employment, and he does some side businesses that give him passive income. And also we have Dr. Celestine. He does lecture at the university, UARA, development studies and business. So it is very a good topic, and I guess you have been following the topic on social medias, Facebook and Twitter. Now let me repeat the topic. We are discussing on how traditional beliefs and education is a syndrome towards financial independence to our society, and more so, the youth. Join us in the conversation on social medias and also follow the show. Thank you so much. Let's have a short break, just a few seconds, and then we'll be back with the guests. Thank you so much. Welcome back in the studio. This is TV1, and the show is DecideX. It's an entrepreneurship class, and then here we have our guests. And as I said, the topic is how the traditional beliefs and education is affecting the financial independence. It's a syndrome. So we have a doctor who has expertise into the societal beliefs and the whole thing of developmental perspectives of a nation. And then he also lectures at the University of Rwanda, but he's been also a lecturer outside the country, in South Africa, and all the experiences he has would be a good package for you watching today. We have also Mr. Frank. He's also been into the system of the country, part of the youth programs and all that. He does employment, but also aside, he has his own sources of passive income. Myself, I have expertise into that, and all of us together would really have a hot discussion. Please join us, and it's amazing. Please welcome, Doctor. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
For respecting our invitation.
So much,
Frank, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Frank.
Yeah, for respecting our invitation. Please, Frank, can you please introduce yourself to the public? Who is Frank, and what's your short belief on this topic?
Like he said, by names of Frank Arukundo, I'm currently working with an organization called, a company called Bourbon Coffee, and aside, like he said, because it's a part-time job, and then I go ahead an extra mile to do my own stuffs that earn me a passive income. So those are my names. I'm Frank Arukundo again, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
And you're Rwandan?
Sure, and I'm a Rwandan by
The name says it.
Sure, thank you so much.
Doctor, yes.
Yeah, Celestine.
Talk about your experience. How did you become a doctor? Like a short brief, 1 minute of where have you been working, systems you've been working in, communities you've been part of, in and out of the country.
Okay. I have been teaching in South Africa, as you said. Then I came back in Rwanda, and now I'm at the University of Rwanda. I'm a development expert, and teach subjects linked to development, gender and development, and the other subjects linked to development.
Yes.
Yeah, and the business, obviously.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining this show this afternoon. It's an amazing moment that we have two of you with full package of information regarding the topic. So what's your say on this topic we have tonight? It's how traditional beliefs and education, also traditional education, is affecting the financial independence. You see in Rwanda, you look at the youth and you find really they don't have money. They are financially handicapped, so, and it's really a challenge, it's a syndrome. As an expert of development, as a development practitioner, what is the root cause of that?
No, we can look at that from different aspects, from different perspectives, but at the root cause is a cultural mindset. But let us first look at, if we talk about traditional education, we need to look at it at 3 levels. Mm-hmm. 3 levels: at the family level, at what you can call informal education, at the formal education level, it means schools, public schools or private schools. But also you can look at, there is one aspect that you can't forget, religions.
Interesting.
Because Christian education is also affecting it in a way or another, directly or indirectly.
I love that.
They affect. So I want to talk from these 3 perspectives. At the family level, I can say there is a cultural mindset.
Yes.
You know, from cultural understanding, our fathers, at a limited extent, ourselves, having children, being surrounded by children, it is a wealth. That is the wealth. You have children.
You have security.
You have security that they surround you. So for them to leave your neighborhoods and go to look for other opportunities, it is like a vagabondage from a cultural mindset.
No, that's true.
So also the issue of savings, it has not been developed.
That's true.
Even those who have means, they are happy to feed their children. They are not worried about them earning even a small income. They say, I'm a man, I'm rich, I can provide for them. You don't think about how they can make their own income.
The children feed on the silver plate.
A silver plate. So, it is like a dependence, paternalism. There is a sort of paternalism that people, that the families, fathers developed, then it turned into a dependent syndrome.
That's true.
Yeah, I can feed my children, don't have problem.
And the intention was positive. The intention of those fathers is always positive towards their children, but then in the end, it becomes a syndrome.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Frank, you are a young man like I am, and most of those who are watching are. Let's go back, little bit. Let's be practical. Share a story from your village, or from your town, from your family. I don't know whether it's a middle income family or whatever. But how have you been seeing financial literacy perceived, conceived in your family tree?
Thank you so much, Frank, our host for today. And I want to talk about this thing. I will see only two things as threats, basically on that, in these few times that we have. There is one thing being parenting. Parenting is one is born,
yes,
and then is taken care of the parents, and
yes,
as the youth, I mean, from that early stage is when you will realize your potential. So you will spend your whole day thinking you're stupid.
That's true.
But this is one thing I want to mention here. Parenting has been affecting our sources of income, and the majority of the youth outside here, let it be in the city or in the remote areas. One, I want to, because it is within the families, I want to compare these two. There is one person who is lucky enough. If you are lucky enough, you are born in a family where you eat breakfast, an omelette as a breakfast. And if you are not lucky enough, you are born in a family where you will have sweet potatoes as a breakfast, and porridge as breakfast. And I want to show you how these two will affect the children from their early stage. One, if you're born as in a rich family where you are lucky enough to have an omelette as a breakfast and another and African tea in the evening, there is one thing. They will start taking you, the parents. They will take that child, as they will teach her or him. Most of us, most of the families, they will tell them that you know what, you are okay. You don't have to go outside. So you are lucky enough. We can take care of you. So this thing will build something in the head of that person, in the head of that child, that everything is provided and everything will be had on a silver plate, which is not the issue. When you go to the outside world, you will be challenged. That person will go to the working team and they will ask them to produce. And to produce results. But this person that is strange to them, because they are saying, you know what, mom told me I'm okay, you see? And so everything was provided in a silver plate, and they don't really understand that work is against wishing. This is something that our parents, even ourselves, will have to think about and actually be like we proactive. We work on some of the stuffs, because outside home, outside the family, you will meet the real world, and the real world will teach you that whatever you get, you work for. Not to wish for, but you have to work for, and that's a threat. And let me go back to that person who is not lucky enough, to the other family who are not lucky enough to have everything on a silver plate. What will they think? That these parents, instead of getting the little they have and really foster that child into someone else to be great, they will tell them, as a culture and a tradition, they will tell them, you know what, we have been in this since the Rwabugiri's time. since the time of our kings. You can't change this. And that's a perspective that goes in the head of that child, and he is misguided. You know what? They will have to embody that child into something else great. They can say, you know what? My son, we have been working on this subsistence farming, or maybe we have been peasant farmers for some time, but I think if we work on one step at a time, we can get somewhere. And so that will build confidence. But if you let them be limited by history, be limited by the things that they have got, I think that's the major threat to the families and parenting as a nation.
Well, as we are breaking this syndrome and this blueprint of which is traditional and cultural, Doctor, from your academic perspective and also your aging and you have your experience as a father, can you please compare the blueprints, the financial literacy blueprints, maybe from decades? You can say maybe from communities. You can say from this community where I have been, this topic is like this. Rwanda is like this. Then you compare, you challenge our culture. What's the recommendable way of raising a child? You are a parent, you have your children, and also maybe you can even relate it to your children. How do you raise your children, or how would you wish to raise your children?
Okay, you know first of all, you need to go beyond that cultural understanding and try to give a chance to children to explore opportunities.
Yes.
Yeah, to see the opportunities around, and to give a chance to children to try to earn income, no matter how small it is, but to make sure that they earn money, and to try to teach them how to make a saving, even if it is a saving of 100 per month, but at least there is something which is being saved. So we must go beyond that cultural mindset, which says no, if I go in a city, it is sort of vagabondage. Yes. We must go beyond that mindset. Second,
and at which age should we build that mindset into our children?
You know, according to some societies where I've been staying, a child try to make savings to say at 18 years old, I must be independent.
Really?
Yeah.
Leave family and
Try to rent house. Try to survive on my own. I try to earn income. That is in some countries there have been. That is your target. Everyone.
So the target is that a child, once the child reaches 18 years age,
at 18 years old, you can see that every child is dreaming to be independent, financially independent. At least you have that dream.
That's true.
If you help your child to dream, that is what you can do. Help our children to dream. Dream higher. Why not? Dream and say at 18 years old. If I start saving at 10 years old, then at 18 years, I will have a budget which will help me to rent my own house. Then try to see how I can refeed the account and push further.
Mr. Frank, now let's make it personal. Let's challenge our parenting system, as you said. At what age did you start holding money? Maybe 10K, 20K, At what age? Just be honest and tell us. I know now you have money, but at least at what age?
I began to get my own money and take care of my stuff like in 22 there.
That was at which age were you?
Yes, at 22 years of.
You had like 22. So don't you think it was a syndrome? Like now don't you wish you were educated?
It was.
Don't you wish now that you were educated earlier before?
Sure.
Okay, at which age now do you wish you would have started getting money?
I mean, at 13.
Really?
Sure, someone at 13.
Doctor, at which age
13.
did you start having your own money back in the time?
You know, I was born in that traditional society with a traditional education. So also to stay nearby my parents was like a honor. Yeah, so it
Looking after cows.
I started when I started working after the high school. After I finished the high school, that is why I started earning my money. But
that was when. At which age were you?
I was 18. So, but a bit before, I was trying to sell small stuff when I was at the primary school. These sweets. Yeah, selling sweets. It was not sustainable, but at least one could see, hey, this child has a dream. But later, when I thought about going to school, because my dream was not business, but my dream was to be an academician.
That's true.
But the challenge is, I could even run a business. So being an academician does not exclude to run a business.
So that means your first paycheck was after high school?
Yes.
So that's when you started getting some good money. Money that
and the rent a house myself.
At which age did you start renting a house of yourself?
Yeah, at 18 years old, because when I finished, I didn't work at home.
You left the... You came in the city, right?
Come again?
You came in the city?
At Gitarama, yeah.
Okay,
the former province.
That was when?
Gitarama.
That was when?
It was in 1982.
82.
Yeah.
So that's back in the time.
Years ago.
Some of us were not born yet. So
I can guess. Yeah.
Now the thing is, Frank started holding money when he was 22, but he wishes he would have started getting the same money at the age of 13. Sure. Why that wish? 13 is much more ambitious. What is causing you to think of that way?
Not really, because after 12, someone is able to be taken through the stages of receiving money, of earning something. Let me reflect on some of the greats, some of the people that have done things. Maybe the outside world, we have the Jewish people. When a child is born, a boy child is born, and they teach them to make money from when they are born. When you reach 12 years, then you are able to have the money. But they take you through the stages. But that thing, like I told you, it's about parenting, the way you are raised. If you're born and then everything is on silver plate, and one is telling you, you know what, you are okay. So that okay is something bad to the child. It's better you tell them, you know what, go mop there, come get this coin. You see, that is exhibiting his potentials. As he mops, you will see the potentials. You see, as he goes fetching, as he goes collecting wood. I mean, this is the society that we are in. Someone should be exposed to responsibilities earlier. And responsibility is a response you take to show the abilities that you have. Now, in 12 years' time, someone is able to visualize you and see you can make it in 20 years' time. Yes. Because we are not going to wait until we reach 30. That's too long. That's why you will never, ever drive yourself. Why? Because everything
is done in stages that you are about to die. Why that?
So how has parenting with poor financial education and literacy affected your current status? Like maybe there's a way at this moment you wish you would be driving, or you wish you would be having 2 cars, you wish your account should be a little bit much more fatter, and you wish this and this. How has the traditional parenting affected your current 21st century status?
I mean, I have been learning from my parents. My parents have been hardworking, but I was not given chance to do practicals, like someone to get you, sit here, then observe what I'm doing. One day I remember I told my dad that when he was giving me tuition, giving me money to go shop, and I told him, you know what, it's better to teach me how to fetch the fish than to bring the fish to me. And since I was a child, I could go out and buy some chickens and then put them home, get some money, but that couldn't make something, because I have been, and I still now, I'm dreaming to have something big beyond what we can just survive on. You know, we have been mentored in a way that when you have food today, then that's enough. It's not enough. That's why you will see people still struggling even in their old ages, because they have not prepared themselves for better things. For, like he was saying, doctor was saying, no savings, no what. Why? Because if you get something to eat today, you don't think about tomorrow. But I think this is something that should change according to the century that we are in. 21st century is far more different from 19th and 18th centuries.
Yes.
If they have been having that land now, when you see the population growth of per annum in Rwanda, it's rapid. You know, you cannot have that land. You cannot have that enough things.
Yes.
So you have to work on with. Now we have moved from agrarian economy to knowledge-based economy.
Yes.
I mean, what you have is what goes on the table, but. This is something that we should all run from, because we have not reached there so far. We still have a long way to go.
A good point. So, Doctor is going to pray a movie with us. There's, you know, there are so many young men watching. There are also those who have, you know, newly married. And Doctor, as a parent, I think you have how many children?
3 children.
You have 3 children.
Yeah.
One is at which level of education, at which level of years?
Okay, one is doing health sciences at the University of Rwanda. Another one, finished the high school, has a small job before going to the university.
Yes.
And the last one, just about 2 months ago, finished high school.
Cool. You see, you have children who you know, who are the same age of most of the people watching. And now the thing is, you are going to, because you may not teach today and change many who have already got their children raised up and all that. So, but then there are young men of our age watching and listening to you and respecting your knowledge as a doctor. So you're going to give us a new blueprint you would wish to give to the next generation of families, but also you're going to give us an ideal way of parenting, considering the financial literacy in the upbringing of a child. So now you're going to play a movie with us. You're going to assume you are a new father. The child is born 1 year old. Oh, okay, let's say, 1 year old. And you have a compliant wife who complies to your beliefs of raising a child in the perspective of financial literacy. How would you, and of course you are now a doctor, you have this thing of education. So how do you raise that child? So let's do an ideal film of parenting a child concerning the financial literacy. Just use like 2 minutes and then say, this is an ideal way of parenting a child concerning the financial literacy. Say, I'll raise this child at this point. maybe use a range of 5 years, 5 years. Say from 1 to 5 years, I will be doing this to this child to comply him or her toward his financial independence. From 5 to 10, I'll provide this set of knowledge in line with financial independence. From 10 to 15, so, and then you give us that ideal way of parenting with consideration of financial literacy into child development.
Okay, yeah, good question. What I can say, before I answer the question, you know, we were all born in that context.
Yes.
We didn't manage to do what, it is now that we open our eyes and see how the education we provided to our children was not enough for them to be financially independent.
You mean formal education?
Yeah, formal education.
Schools.
Yeah, but coming back to your question, I can say at 5 years, at 5, I can say at 5 years, I can teach a child how to help he or herself for small issues, for small stuff. Like to feed himself or herself, because that education, it is important. Maybe you think that you are doing a small thing, but it is education. Yeah, it's somehow it affects the child. It helps the child. How can that child help himself or herself? How can the child know the value of money?
At the tender age, 5 years.
The value of money.
Which way can you teach him at that age of 5 to know about money? By speaking to him?
Yeah, by even sending the child to buy something at a boutique.
I love that.
At a boutique.
I love that.
Yeah, you send go at a boutique, a nearby boutique, then buy bread,
Buy breakfast.
Yeah. To start to see.
Ask the balance.
Yeah. Ask the balance. You know, as a parent, you can't know, except later, you can't know how that education will help later the child.
That's true.
So at 5 years.
So from 5 to 10 then?
At 10, from 5 to 10, I can teach. I would like to have taught my children how to make a saving, open an account.
From 5 to 10 years, open account?
Yeah, open an account.
Uh-huh.
An account, if as a parent, if you find the 1,000, you put on the account. When the child get a coin, a balance of pocket money, the child put on the account.
Yes.
So at that age, the issue of saving
Will be clear now.
Yeah, be clear.
So, and also able to manage his account, the movements of money on his account.
Exactly.
So from 10 to 15?
10 to 15, it is the period of teaching a child how to make money.
Then making?
Yeah, making money.
Like how?
If you are at school, try you from school. You don't sit at home if you are not doing homework. Why can't you go and try to make an income?
That's true.
There is different ways of making income. You can sell stuff.
Yes, that's
You can learn how to make like amandazi, as you call them, to make amandazi, or to make some other food, process some food which don't need machine.
In this area of technology, you can make an application.
Exactly.
And sell application.
And at high school,
that's true.
You go to a nearby restaurant or a hotel. Why not? In 30 seconds, you get a small job of mopping or cleaning glasses.
You can invest in stock.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. That is the age to know how you can yourself get a small job and earn money.
And fail. If you had fail.
Yes.
Know how you fail.
Yeah, exactly.
So from 15 to 20?
From 15 to 20, it is you start thinking how you can be independent.
Totally independent.
Independent and one necessarily move from your parents' house.
And then
Rent your house. Try to buy some furnitures slowly by slowly. Buy kettle, buy other small stuff. Try to see how you can have your own house equipment.
That's true.
Even if it is a small house, but
Buy your bed.
Yeah, buy your bed.
Buy your fridge.
Your fridge.
Buy your chairs.
Yeah.
And buy your screen.
Exactly.
I love that. So from 2025.
No, 2025. You know how can you pay your studies? Because
Really?
that is the age of the university. How
Pay your studies.
How can, from what I earn, for what I earned, how can I pay my studies, my university studies? Not necessarily putting a burden to my parents. How can I earn income? How can I how can I pay my studies?
How can I buy my house?
Yeah, how can I buy my house? How can I buy a small piece of land?
Cool. Do you think it's going to be, when is that time going to come in Rwanda where that ideal plan of yours would be practical in our communities and societies?
It is a matter of time, it is a matter of time because there is a change. The way the way we lived, it is not the way our children are living. It is now they are realizing that gap, which was from the cultural mindset of the parents.
That's true.
I saw the background of the parents. So now, if we talk to children today, in some funny names they call it the .com,
Yes.
.coms. They see, oh, I didn't save anything, and it is a challenge.
That's true.
You find the child very challenged for not having an account, for not having saved something on the account.
Okay, cool. Frank, I think Doctor was sharing a very good message. So he shared the ideal way of parenting a child in the concept of financial education, financial literacy, financial independence. Frank, when you look at the youth in Rwanda, because you move with them often and often, what are some of the financial syndromes that they have, really the practical ones that you see? When you look at them, you feel like you're crying. Maybe for you, you're very lucky that you've broken some of the curses of the financial illiteracy. But for you, when you see what the youth are going through, the university students, the graduates, the dropouts, the high school graduates, when you look into them, what are the 3 syndromes that are financially attacking them?
It is quite challenging for most of the youth in Rwanda. The big percentage, let it be those who have graduated, you find that they are not able even to provide themselves with transport.
They are not,
Sure.
Somebody's university graduate and
Sure, and
he can't get a mere transport.
Very.
And is it really very common?
Very common, with big percentage.
Above 8?
Sure, because there are no opportunities for them to engage in. Like let's say there are no these organizations put maybe plenty of them that are willing to be paying them maybe part-time, because even when someone is willing to pay you part-time, they will seem to take long hours of working, and then at later times they pay you the little money, even which cannot recover the energy that you have used. To me, I think there should be some opportunities. Let's pray, because Rwanda is growing, and we are having investors coming in because of the infrastructure that is put in place. Maybe with time there will be some laws governing the trying to put in place
the youth opportunities. Like some of the institutions will be put in place, or even the investors, when they come in to invest, there will be some timely pay, like let's say 1 hour,
1 hour, this amount.
2 hours, this amount.
So that you work 4 hours,
sure.
Instead of working 8 hours, you work 4 and then another one joins.
You can even work 2, because it depends on the energy that you have, the willingness to go on.
So your point is if the part-time working concept comes in our systems, private and government,
sure,
it will increase number of employees.
The majority.
Oh, cool.
Will get
That's
the
a good point.
Sure.
So what is now one thing that is really burdening your heart that you're seeing is really a financial disaster in the youth?
Like everyone outside.
What saddens you? When you look at a young man doesn't have transport, is it the one that most saddens you? Or looking at a young man and he can't have capacity to buy himself a clothes and all? So what is that thing that you see among the youth and you feel like you're really sad?
To me, is when someone is not able even to provide for themselves the basic needs. When I say basic needs, maybe we thank Rwanda because some of the things are put in place, like the medical care. That is something that we should be appreciative for. But I mean, these people, aren't they going to be sick or over? Because they can't get food. Some can't get food.
That's true.
Some can't get clothing. Some can't get this and this.
That's true.
And those who are lucky enough, they're earning maybe 2,000 or 100. But they are also with burdens for the families, for themselves, to take care of themselves. One has to take care of themselves and then even have that amount to save. It is so challenging.
That's true. We'll come back to you. Doctor,
Yes.
who do you think are the main 3 partners of fighting against this financial dependence syndrome in our cultural, in our traditional beliefs? Who do you think are the 3 partners to fight this syndrome?
Okay. A good question. You know, the school, formal schools, because the way we teach,
the way actually you're part of them.
Yeah, the way we teach, I think we need to change, because we are more theoretical than practical. To give a chance to learners, if we change and try to adopt a teaching whereby a student have a chance to go out to the field and see what is being done at the field, that can be good. It can be a good option. Try to also to empower the cause of entrepreneurship. Because it is very recent that course was put in the system of teaching, because it is a time people saw that there was a gap for the graduates. They get out of the university, they struggle a lot.
But I have a question there. Well, it's a good that we introduce the entrepreneurship course in the curriculum of the universities. But also, I've been at the university recently. I was training at the UR Ihuye campus last week. And some of the students there were my friends, and then they were telling me how they are on pressure. Like, when you see the UR student or any university student, they are always on a pressure of exams. So for me, I was like, okay, cool. Providing an entrepreneurship course is number 1, but then number 2, leaving a space of free time, enough of free time, so that a student at a university can be running a business, can be doing a job. You see the way UR has set up their schedule. It's so hard for a UR student to do a side job. Is it true?
Yeah, it is. You are very right.
Like for you teaching UR, but then to embark that concept of financial independence, you have to be working or owning a business. So now, how is the UR schedule allowing a student at UR to do either? a 4 hours work job. Is it really possible?
Yeah, it is possible. You know, UR is a government university, and they try their best. And you can see that there's something changing positively. But also you can see a gap of the past. You can see the effects of the gap of the past. You can see that, as you are saying, children are concentrated on books. But they can't even think about after school. Instead of turning around, how can I run a business? Even if I earn 200 Rwandan franc, it is money. So you need it for transport.
For me, the challenge is, I think, I have never, Frank, have you ever seen a UR student who is doing a job?
A few of them.
But also really sacrificial.
Very.
It's so hard for a UR student to do a side job. And for me, I don't think it's really good. A student should be trying to do some work. So I wish the curriculum was very much, made simple in a way that maybe I can study 5 hours or 6 hours, but then the rest of the hours, I'm able to, if I'm at Huye, the good thing now, the UR has so many branches. So people at Nyagatare campus can work from the Nyagatare town and go back to UR. People from Huye can work from the Huye city. People from Kigali UR campuses can also do some work. But then the way, when I see the students, they're really so much tight and busy, to the extent even if you give them a work of 3 hours a day, they won't resubmit the application. So is it good that you start joining a normal life after bachelor, or there's a way you can interconnect your education throughout with the outside world of doing work, doing job, doing business?
First of all, what I wanted to say, you see at the cases at the campus, you can see that the vulnerable students who can get small jobs from the university is trying to help, but just to earn that money to pay school fees. But it is not the other students, even who have the capacity. You can't see them trying to also to see how they can earn income. Being busy, I can say yes, but not totally, because even during holidays, they can try to start a small business or have a small job. But the problem is a mindset, just a mindset, to say, let me concentrate on the studies so I may get a job after finishing my studies.
And the problem with that, when they when they graduate from the bachelor level, they realize their level of skills is not enough.
Exactly.
They go for certificates. Exactly. So you find a person is from one age to the 30 years of age studying throughout. So always looking for skills, and then after having skills, realizes that skills are not compatible with the necessity of the work. They go for another certificate. So Frank, how do you wish education would be compliant to the real life of outside world? Would a student finish all the classes and then start afresh the outside world, or there should be a way of interconnecting the two systems?
Thank you so much, Frank. But according to your question, like, would the student go on to finish the school and then come work? That would mean that you would die studying, because there is no limited stage to study. So you can make bachelors, go for some certificates, and then keep going doing masters. I mean, there should be some lilies of time, like kind of time put in place for them to have that adventure of working. Because even
I love how you call it adventure.
Sure, it is adventure, because you will learn something new, different, totally different from what you have been studying theoretically. And it's a good adventure for young people to begin getting that experience. Because if you wait until you finish studies, I think it might not work out. Actually, it might not work out.
That's true.
It can't work out. Because
the outside world nowadays is so demanding that you cannot go out just relying on documents and theoretical things. The outside world need productivity, they need results, they need work.
Cool. Doctor, as we conclude, actually we are concluding. I have a very interesting question for you. In a parenting, in a schooling, there's one thing that these two people never really allow the children, the students to embody, to experience, to exercise. And this is failure and risks. There's a way parents protect their children away from risks and away from failing. So they always put them in a line of perfection, and then, so they don't want to see their child starting a business and fail, or see their child doing something that has never been done. So they are always wanting to keep their children, their students, into the protected line of growth. So where a child fails at school, and it's a burden, family takes it as a burden, where you maybe take your money and try to do something, while a student says, no, first finish and then find a job. Why are you going into such insecure risk things? So talk about that way of parenting and schooling our children into the perspective that failing is a disaster, risking is a disaster. Go into the paved pathways.
There's something that sometimes the challenge when people say we can't run a risk. Already since you're born, you are under risk.
That's true.
Because life it is an adventure.
That's true.
You don't know where you will be tomorrow. You are here today. You don't know where you will be tomorrow.
That's true.
You are living today. You don't know if tomorrow will be still living. So I think for a parent to say, I want my child to get into risk, you can rather try to minimize the risks.
That's true.
But you can't say avoid the risk. You can't avoid the risk.
That's true.
So it is not a good mindset to say try to help your child to explore opportunities, but try to help him or her to minimize the risks. Otherwise, you can't say no. If you fail, also failures. You can learn from failures.
Or time. So we are really out of time. Frank, one single message and then we are done.
To me,
few
to
seconds.
the people that are following us this day and to the big percentage of the youth, we should be focusing on working, like working against wishing. Because if we don't really put our efforts to working, we are going to spend our whole day wishing that everything could go better, but we need to work on that as day in, day out.
That's a strong statement.
Sure. And so keep going, keep learning things and doing our best. Even consulting people that are far better than ourselves. We get knowledge.
So the thing is, working against wishing.
Sure.
Frank, thank you so much.
Thank you.
1 second, we are out of time.
Okay, what I can say, let us learn from our mistakes, from our failures, from our cultural mindset, which didn't empower our children, and try to fix them.
Yes.
That is what I can say.
All right, thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much for being with me, and it was really a pleasure hosting you into this show. The topic was amazing. And please, as you're watching this, remember what Frank said, that let us, harness working against wishing. And Doctor says, he gave you the ideal way of parenting. From 5 years, from 5 to 10 years, 5 we have to be sending the child to buy some things, breakfast on the shop, supermarket. 5 to 10, he has to be having account. Start saving and saving and saving. From 10 to 15, he has to be doing some business side work that can earn him money. From 15 to 20, he has to be dreaming of having his own house, buying furniture, buying screen, buying fridge, buying kettle, and all that. From 20 to 25, he has to be able to pay for his university and further education, fees. That was an interesting package. Please, let's go away from this cultural and traditional way of thinking that we would touch money when we are 30. We would touch money when we have wives and husbands. It's time that, as Frank wished to have got money at the age of 13, let's start harnessing this. Thank you so much. Frank is always your host, and it's my joy sharing this course of entrepreneurship every Sunday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Thank you.
Niba ushaka gusobanukirwa n'ibi bibazo wakurikira ikiganiro tumwe bw'abamarayika batatu gica kuri TV1 buri ku isabato saa 9 z'amanywa ndetse no